At a packed convention center, thousands of veterans and their families gathered to hear Donald Trump speak about his plans for reforming the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA. The atmosphere was tense with a mix of hope and skepticism. As Trump took the stage, the crowd erupted in cheers and applause, with some waving flags and chanting his name, while others remained seated, arms crossed, waiting to be convinced. Trump began his speech with his usual confidence, emphasizing his commitment to making the VA outstanding again. He touched on themes of American greatness and the duty owed to those who served. However, there was a palpable sense of restlessness among the audience, a group familiar with political promises and the harsh realities behind them. As Trump continued, a commotion near the front of the crowd drew his attention. A man in a wheelchair, dressed in full military uniform adorned with medals and ribbons, was making his way forward. His wife, pushing the wheelchair with determination, seemed intent on reaching the stage. Trump paused mid-sentence, his eyes fixed on the pair as the audience fell silent. Secret Service agents moved to intervene, but Trump waved them off, saying, "Hold on, folks. I want to hear what this brave veteran has to say." The crowd parted, creating a path for the wheelchair. As it reached the stage, Trump did something unexpected. He descended the steps, microphone in hand, to meet the veteran. "What's your name, soldier?" Trump asked, his tone more sincere than usual. "Sergeant Todd Miller, sir," the man replied, his voice trembling slightly. "I served 21 years with the 101st Airborne. I need to talk to you about the VA." Todd began to speak, recounting his journey from enlisting straight out of high school, driven by a sense of patriotism and a desire to make a difference. He spoke of his deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, the pride of leading soldiers into battle, and the weight of responsibility for their lives. Then came the memory of the day an IED explosion changed everything. The blast left him with severe spinal injuries and both legs missing. But it was the battles Todd faced after returning home that tested his spirit the most. He described the endless paperwork, bureaucratic hurdles, and a VA system that seemed designed to wear down even the most resilient veterans. Todd's wife, April, had sacrificed her career to become his full-time caregiver. But even her unwavering support couldn't shield him from the growing sense of abandonment by the country he had served. As Todd spoke, his voice began to break with emotion. "Mr. President," he said, tears welling up in his eyes, "the system is broken. I've been trying for months to get the care I need, but I'm caught in an endless cycle of red tape and waiting lists. April has become my full-time caregiver because the VA can't or won't help. Something has to change." The crowd watched in stunned silence as this decorated veteran broke down, his years of frustration and pain pouring out in front of thousands. Trump, visibly affected, placed a hand on Todd's arm and said, "I want you to know that I hear you. Your service, your sacrifice, it means everything to this country, and you deserve so much better." Addressing the crowd, Trump declared, "What we're seeing here is a wake-up call. Our brave veterans who put everything on the line for our freedom are being let down by a broken system. It's unacceptable, and it stops now." His voice grew stronger, filled with determination. "Todd and April, your struggle, your story, it's not going to be in vain. We're going to use this moment as a catalyst for real, lasting change in how we treat our veterans." As Trump spoke, Todd's sobs gradually subsided, replaced by a look of cautious hope. For the first time in years, he felt truly heard. Trump handed Todd a business card and a pen. "I want you to write down your contact information. I'm going to personally see to it that you get the care you need. And I want you and April to be my special guests at a policy meeting next week." The convention center erupted in applause as Trump helped April push Todd's wheelchair onto the stage. The crowd, moved by the raw emotion of the moment, stood at attention, rendering salutes to their fellow soldier. Todd, his face still streaked with tears but now bearing a glimmer of hope, addressed the crowd saying, "Thank you. To all my fellow veterans out there struggling, don't give up. Maybe now, finally, things will change." The emotional encounter sparked a national conversation about the treatment of veterans. News outlets broadcasted clips of the exchange, and social media exploded with reactions, with many sharing their own struggles with the VA system. For Todd and April, their impromptu confrontation marked the beginning of a new chapter. Todd found himself thrust into the spotlight, sharing his story and becoming a spokesperson for VA reform. A week later, Todd and April met with Trump and his team to discuss their struggles with the VA system. Trump and his advisors listened and took notes, leading to new ideas and breakthroughs. Trump promised their story would guide real change, leading to new legislation for VA reform, increased funding for mental health services, and improved care. A year later, Todd and April attended the signing of the VA reform bill. Watching the president sign the legislation, Todd felt a sense of accomplishment and hope for all veterans. A young soldier saluted Todd, acknowledging the impact of his efforts. Todd and April knew their journey wasn't over, but their confrontation had ignited a movement, reaffirming America's duty to its veterans.